Right now, there are men your age who are pulling away from you. They're not smarter. They're not working harder hours. They're not more talented. They just have a nervous system that hasn't been destroyed. While you're burning hours bouncing between apps, notifications, and noise, they're able to sit down, focus, and produce. That single difference compounds into more money, more leverage, more options, and more respect. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If you can't control your attention in 2026, you're not unlucky, you're obsolete. This isn't about discipline. It's about whether your brain is still capable of sustained effort in a system designed to eliminate it. The core mechanism. Your brain does not care about your goals. It cares about efficiency. Every action gets evaluated through one filter. What's the highest reward for the lowest energy cost? Answer wrong too often, and your brain rewires itself accordingly. That's why answering emails feels harder than watching clips. That's why learning a high-income skill feels heavier than gaming. That's why thinking deeply feels exhausting before you even start. This isn't laziness. It's an economic decision being made automatically inside your nervous system. Your brain evolved to conserve calories in a scarce environment. Instead, it's now living in infinite entertainment, infinite sugar, infinite novelty, infinite validation. Every platform you use is optimized to outcompete real-world effort. You are not facing temptation. You are facing industrial-scale behavioral engineering. And the men who don't understand this aren't falling behind slowly, they're being filtered out. Dopamine. Dopamine is not pleasure. It's priority allocation. It tells your brain, this matters. Do this again. When dopamine is cheap and constant, nothing feels worth effort. That's why. Reading feels slow. Learning feels frustrating. Building anything feels unbearable. Your brain has learned that stimulation is always one thumb movement away. Anything slower gets deprioritized. Not because it's hard, because it's inefficient relative to what you've trained yourself on. Downregulation equals competitive disadvantage. Here's the part most men don't want to hear. When your dopamine system is overstimulated, your baseline drops. That means normal effort feels abnormally painful. So what happens? Other men can. Focus for 2-3 hours. Learn faster. Execute consistently. Tolerate boredom. You can't. Not because you're weaker, but because your brain is calibrated wrong. This is the real gap forming between men right now. Not intelligence. Not opportunity. Neural tolerance for effort. Detox. This isn't a dopamine detox. That term is soft and misleading. This is reward recalibration. You are temporarily removing ultra-low effort, high stimulation inputs so your brain can relearn what deserves priority. Not forever. Long enough to reset the signal. Think of it like cutting junk fuel so your engine stops misfiring. The withdrawal phase. The first phase is not pleasant. You'll experience restlessness, irritation, a constant urge to escape the moment. That's not personal failure. That's your brain realizing its usual shortcuts are gone. Most men quit here because they interpret discomfort as damage. It's not damage. It's loss of dependency, replacement activities. If you remove stimulation and replace it with nothing, you fail. So instead of scrolling, you read technical material tied to income or leverage. You train without entertainment. You work in silence. You walk without input. These are not healthy habits. They are signal retraining protocols. At first, they feel flat. Then something changes. Your brain starts releasing dopamine in anticipation of completion, not consumption. That's the switch. Pleasure versus status-relevant reward. Pleasure is passive. Satisfaction is earned. Modern systems give you pleasure without status, progress, or leverage. Your brain gets fed, but your position doesn't improve. That's why men can feel busy, stimulated, and exhausted while producing nothing of value. Satisfaction, on the other hand, reinforces identity. I do difficult things. I finish. I produce. That identity compounds. Long-term effect. After recalibration, 3 things happen. Your attention span increases. Your tolerance for boredom improves. Effort feels proportional again. This is why disciplined men don't describe discipline as painful. Their brains are aligned with their objectives. Yours may not be. Environment design? If you rely on willpower, you will lose. Men who win remove friction from productive behavior and add friction to distraction. Phones out of the room, blocked sites. Pre-committed routines. This isn't self-control. It's system control. Social contagion. Your nervous system mirrors the men around you. If your environment normalizes distraction, you will regress. If your environment normalizes focus, restraint, and execution, you will adapt. This is not philosophy. It's conditioning. Final challenge. Here's the test. Identify the single behavior that delivers the highest stimulation for the least effort in your life. Remove it for 7 days. No declarations. No identity talk. Just observation. If your brain fights you, that's data. If effort starts to feel lighter, that's confirmation. This isn't about becoming disciplined. It's about determining whether your brain still belongs to you or to the systems training it. The future doesn't reward talent. It rewards men who can still focus. And that group is getting smaller every year.